So we will move along to number 10, approval of the minutes of the November 15th, 2021 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Huddle.
I move that we approve the minutes of the November 15th, 2021 board meeting.
Do I have a second? And second, Ms. Hines. All those in favor? Show of hands, 7, and no opposed. Number 11, approval of the minutes of the December 6th, 2021 special call board meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll do that one too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I move that we approve the minutes of the December 6th, 2021 special called board meeting.
Do I have a second? Ms. Moore seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's 7, no opposed. And next is public participation. And of course, the board welcomes and encourages public participation. However, the privilege of addressing the board does not include the ability to make personal attacks on any board member, district employee, or other member of the public. We respectfully ask that you adhere to the procedures and the decorum provided in Board Policy BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments should be limited to 3 minutes. Questions asked during public participation will be handled in accordance with Board Policy BEDH. And we still have the, up there. That's good. It lets people know about their time. It's easier to see. We'll start. You'll have to.
Good evening. So really quick, I just wanted to touch on the behavioral issues. As you sit here and listen to it, you start to wonder, like, is this salvageable? You know, but I think as long as we have things in place like PBIS, it won't be. Like, that, you really got to take a look at that. Not to mention, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago on the Citizens of Irmo page, there was a post about a child being bullied within the district, and that thread had 700 comments on it about things that had gone back for years and had been ignored by our discipline office. And it's been swept under the rug, whether it was for accolade purposes or school report cards. So I truly hope that this is going to make a difference. The school needs that, and I think we also need to consider the type of curriculum and books that we're putting in our classrooms that would cause children to act out. For instance, The House on Mango Street, which is currently being read at Chapin Intermediate School for 5th grade, states, this is a review, do not let your child read this book. In general, it is a morbidly creative way to tell a story filled with depression, dysfunctionality, and looking at things through a pessimistic lens. The main character's friend, Sally, was taken by a group of boys and raped, and how she expresses her desire to end her life in multiple forms. So not only is this book dark and depressing, it is exposing pornographic content to our kids, 5th graders. So you might really want to start, and I encourage all parents to look at what your children are reading. That's entirely inappropriate. I mean, even a 16-year-old put a review on this page about this book and said it was sick. And we have 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds reading it. Is that appropriate? Which brings me to something else. This is the primary stakeholder resolution. This is about our parental instincts, what it means to us to be parents and to want that to be protected by this board, by the district. I know that you guys are taught to see us differently by the outside associations, but there are many of you that have children, and this would protect your children as well. I had a legislator look at it. There's nothing within this resolution that overrides state law, which includes truancy. It also includes curriculum. There was a comment about not being able to, choose your own curriculum. But parents can opt out of anything that's not a state standard. So I would ask that you seriously consider the resolution.
Thank you.
Renee Kelly is here to speak about vaccines.
Good evening. Thank you for your undivided attention tonight. I do appreciate that. I am the primary stakeholder for my child. I do oppose vaccine mandates. Historically, Merriam-Webster defined vaccines as a preparation of killed microorganisms or living, fully virulent organisms used to produce immunity to a specific disease. This year, Merriam-Webster changed the definition to include mRNA products. Apparently, Cambridge, Oxford dictionaries did not get the message. They still use the widely accepted definition. I'd like to propose something to think about. Why was the definition of vaccine changed? Could it be that we are used to vaccinating our children since birth, that we would be more likely to blindly give a child a COVID vaccine? How would you feel about mandating a COVID vaccine or product if we didn't call it a vaccine, but if we called it a drug instead? This drug doesn't prevent infection nor stop viral transmission, but it's understood to reduce your risk of getting very sick or possibly death. It sounds a lot like a flu shot, but we don't mandate flu shots. Would you take a dose of this drug every 6 months or so for possibly the rest of your life? If you are at high risk, you might say yes. What if you had little or no risk at all of serious disease? What risk would you take, something that has no long-term studies to show what might happen in 5, 10 years from now? Would you risk your child's future health? How are the children? Despite the vaccine, there's very little incidence of severe illness, hospitalizations, or deaths without these children getting vaccines. Scientists have been working on mRNA products for over 10 years, but nothing has been widely used because long-term studies, short-term studies don't provide the support that these things are effective or safe. Just because they call it a vaccine doesn't mean we should assume that these new products are just like all other childhood vaccines, which do get mandated. Thank you.
Thank you. That was it. That concludes our public participation.